Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be reviewing Charlotte Tilbury's new Super Nudes collection. I have a couple of the lipsticks, the face palette and the eyeshadow palette right here to show you. I'm going to of course tell you my experience using each and every one of these products, my overall thoughts in the collection, and whether or not I think that they are worth it. If you like the video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. And I can't wait to show you everything, so let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so before I get into the nitty-gritty of this video, and you can feel free to skip ahead if you want to, I wanted to very quickly prep my face with some of my favorite complexion products from Charlotte. So first I'm going to use Magic Cream as my moisturizer and primer. Magic Cream is definitely my favorite product from the Charlotte Tilbury line. I absolutely love it. I feel like my makeup doesn't look the same without it, and I use it with any makeup that I put on. It doesn't have to be Charlotte. I use it every day. Next, the Hollywood Flawless Filter to add a little bit of an extra glow to my face. So I'm going to put it on my cheeks, nose, and I like to go right here on my forehead too, and chin, why not? And with a sponge, I'm just going to blend it in place. Sometimes you guys ask me what sponge this is. This is a Sonia Kashuk sponge and I got it from Target. Honestly, when I got this sponge, I really didn't think I was going to love it as much as I do, but I love it. So next I'm going to put on my favorite Charlotte Tilbury foundation, which is not the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Believe it or not, I've made videos on that one and I do like it. It's my favorite full coverage matte finish foundation. I think that even though it's full coverage and a matte finish, it works for my dry skin. However, I usually prefer medium coverage foundations with a natural finish. So my personal favorite foundation from Charlotte is the Magic Foundation. Now, this one right here, for some reason, don't ask me why, but it does not look good when you apply it with a sponge. You have to apply it with a brush for it to look phenomenal, so that is what I'm going to do. This is shade number 4 and I'm using the Rare Beauty foundation brush. I think the sponge for some reason just soaks it up or something, because whenever I've tried using it with a sponge, I never like the result, but I really love it when I apply it with a brush. I feel like it lays on your face so nicely and it's so natural looking. Okay, foundation on, and I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury color corrector with my Rare Beauty concealer brush. And I'm just going to stipple it right here where my under eyes are the darkest. I'm obsessed with this color corrector. I wish she had concealers with this formula. That would be amazing. Because I honestly don't really love any of the Charlotte Tilbury concealers I've tried, but this under eye corrector combines amazingly with any other concealer I want to put on top of it. So these were my complexion favorites from Charlotte. I'm going to be right back and we'll get started with the beautiful face palette. So Charlotte Tilbury just launched her Super Nudes collection. The most special piece in this collection is the Super Nudes face palette in the color Nudegasm. This one retails for $75 and it has 2 bronzers and 2 highlighting colors in it. This is not the first time Charlotte releases a product like this one. I believe around 2 years ago now she released the Glowgasm palette. These were 2 different ones. She had the Lightgasm and one that was for more medium tan complexions. I have the Lightgasm with me right over here and we will compare swatches with the new one. The collection also includes the Super Nudes Easy Eye palette. This one retails for $57 and this is not a new palette to her collection. I've actually had this one since last holiday season. I believe it probably launched around a year ago, but she's kind of remarketing it as part of this new collection, so we will do a quick little eye look with it. I'll show you swatches of it as well. And then she released the Super Nudes Lip Color Collection, which contains both the kissing formula and the matte formula from her line. The collection has 5 nude lipsticks total. It has Runway Royalty, Cover Star, Catwalking, Supermodel, and Super Fabulous. I'm not personally a huge fan of warm toned nude lipsticks, so I grabbed 2 lipsticks from the line. I grabbed the color Super Fabulous, and I believe that the shade Supermodel is also a re-release. I don't know that this was currently part of her Collection. I think it might have been discontinued and then came back. I'm not sure if it was on her website, to be honest with you. But the point is, I already had the Supermodel shade from when I was working at the Charlotte Tilbury counter. Lastly, the collection also includes the Super Nudes Duo Liner, which has a black eyeliner on one side and a nude eyeliner on the other side. I went ahead and skipped this one because I already have nude and black eyeliners in my collection, so I didn't feel the need to grab it. So let me go ahead and show you guys swatches of everything, starting with the eyeshadow palette. Here are all 6 shades of the palette swatched. These shades are super creamy. All of these swatches were one swipe full pigment, and they're not matte formulas. They kind of have a little bit of a satin finish to them. There's also no shimmer or glitter in these whatsoever, and it is a really beautiful palette for everyday use. I believe these shades are going to be very easy to blend as well, and I like that even though these are all nude shades, she has some cool tones and warm tone shades in the palette. Moving on to the Nudegasm palette, these are the 4 shades that come in it. So on my skin tone, this one is obviously going to work as a highlighter, and this peachy darker highlighter I'm going to try to use as blush to see if I can get use out of it that way. It's definitely a beautiful highlighter for tan to deep skin tones, but on me, we're going to try to use it as a blush. And then it has 2 different tones of like sculpting colors. They're both really nice and cool tone. I definitely don't see any of these 2 working for a dark or deep complexion, so I would steer away from this palette if you have a dark or deep skin tone. Unfortunately, she only came out with 1 palette, and this one I think is only going to work for tan to light skin tones. I don't think it'll work for dark, deep, or fair, because for fair skin tones it's probably going to be a little bit too dark, and for dark or deep skin tones it's going to be way too light. Now let's go ahead and compare the new Nudegasm palette with the Glowgasm palette in Lightgasm, which is the one I have. Check out the differences in the pans. The Glowgasm palette in Lightgasm, which is the old one, has 3 highlighters and a bronzer color, while the new Nudegasm palette has 2 different tones of bronzing slash sculpting colors and only 2 highlighters instead of 3. Here's the swatch comparisons. These 4 shades right here are the Glowgasm palette. These are the Nudegasm palettes. I definitely think I'm going to really like the sculpting bronzing shades in this palette better because this one's a little bit warmer and lighter. I liked but never loved this bronzer color, and these right here feel a lot creamier and like they're going to be more pigmented. And then these 2 highlighter shades are not exactly the same, but they are pretty similar. Lastly, let me show you the swatches of the lipsticks. This one right here is Supermodel. I really love that shade. And then Super Fabulous, which is the one that is new to me. This one was the darkest one of them all, and so I thought it was going to be different enough for my collection, and I also like that it wasn't a warm lipstick, so I'm really hoping I will love this one. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Look at those swatches right there. I feel like come fall, this is going to be a really nice go-to lipstick for me. And then Supermodel is like a medium tone, just gorgeous shade with a bit of a hint of rose in it. So excited. These, by the way, are both from her Matte Revolution formula, and I personally dislike very matte drying lipsticks, but trust me when I tell you that her Matte Revolution formula is very creamy and velvety, so you're not going to feel a lot of dryness on your lips. Let's get started by doing a look with her eyeshadow palette. I'm going to go for the lightest shade right here first and just kind of put it all over the eyelid as a base. I'm using my Refer number 16 brush for this, and I'm just swiping it back and forth. I'm not going right under the brow because it's not a highlighter shade for me. It's more so the exact same tone of my skin. So I'm using it as a base all over the eyelid and crease. Then I'm going to try this shade right here, and that's going to be my crease shade. So I'm going to back and forth swipe it on the crease by doing windshield wiper motions. Charlotte Tilbury shades are extremely easy to blend, so you shouldn't have a problem with any kind of patchiness or it not blending out. These literally blend themselves. Switching to a smaller blending brush, this is my Refer number 14, and I'm going to grab the dark shade right here. And I'm going to add this shade to the outer third of my eyelid here. And once the shade is in place, with the tip of the brush, I'm going to start blending it into the crease by doing little circles around the edges upwards. Same shade and brush, and I'm going right underneath my lashes. And I'm just repeating the same thing on the other side. I'm darkening up this eye just because I was a little bit too confident with this one, so I grabbed more product than I did for the first eye. With a flat brush, I'm going into this taupey shade here, and I'm going to put it in the center of my eyelid and then blend it towards the inner part here. And with my reference number 14, I'm grabbing this shade and smoking out my lower lash line a little bit. Okay, so this is my super nudes eye look right here. I'm going to use my Fake Awake eyeliner from Tarte in my waterline. Let me put some mascara on and I'll be right back to play with the Nudegasm palette. And so let's get started with the Nudegasm palette. I'm going to start with the Sculpting Bronzing colors. This right here is my reference number 19, and I'm going to go for the lightest shade first. The brush picked up a lot of product right away. Let me do my forehead first and then my cheekbones. The product is right here on this side of the brush, so I'm going to put that side up, and I like to go down at an angle towards the corner of my mouth and then blend upwards. I don't know if that was a necessary tip, but that's the way I like to do it. So a little bit more, that side up, and then little circles upwards. It's a really nice cool toned shade. I would say don't expect bronziness from this palette because all I see is my face looks more sculpted, but I don't look bronzy. Let's do the jawline next and the sides of the nose. I changed my mind. I think if you have a fair complexion, you will be able to use this product because I feel like this color of contour color definitely will work on someone with lighter skin than mine. Mind you, right now I'm more like a medium complexion than a light complexion because I have a little bit of a tan, but I still feel like that color would work on someone with fair skin. I haven't darkened it up because I definitely want to use this one as well. So same brush, you can see the color's a lot darker. So I'm actually going to dust some off on the back of my hand here. And back to the forehead, we are going to darken up things even more. I'm starting close to my hairline here, and I'm doing my cheekbone next. Those two colors combined on my skin tone right now, fire. I really love the way that looks. It gives me like a really nice gradient sculpted look. Take a look right here. I lowered the light a little bit so that you guys can see better. I'm very scared about using this as a blush because I feel like it might enhance the texture on my cheekbones, but I want to try it, so let's go for it. I'm using my reference number 5 brush. This is my favorite one for blush, and I'm just going to tap in there a little bit. That's how much I picked up. And then starting back here, moving forward, blend that glowy blush out. Color-wise, I like it. Texture-wise, I wouldn't say it's my favorite blush color ever, but it really doesn't enhance my texture at all. I don't see it, at least. I prefer other finishes in my blushes that aren't as glowy as this one. I like more of a satin finish when it comes to blushes, but it's not bad. Lastly, let's use the highlighter color, and I'm going to use my favorite highlighter brush in the whole wide world, which is the Wayne Goss number 3 brush. I'm obsessed with this brush right here, so much so that I now have 2. So originally I bought the full set of Wayne brushes to review for you guys, and I really like them all, but I don't prefer those brushes over my refer ones, except for this one here. So this one here is the best brush in my opinion when it comes to setting your under eyes with translucent powder because it just fits so perfectly. And then I also really love it for highlighting. So once the brushes got released individually, which they are individually sold at Beautylish right now if you're interested in getting this one, I went ahead and purchased a second one because now I have one for my under eye powder and another one for highlighter. But anyways, let's go ahead and use it for the highlighter shade right here. And just put it right here around my temple area. Check it out. That is a beautiful highlighter. Let me lower the light and show you. So here's the face palette fully on. Both bronzers, blush, and the highlighter. And of course the eye palette, which is looking fabulous. Time to try the lipstick colors. I'm going to first try Supermodel. I'm not going to use a lip liner or anything so that you guys can see what they look like on their own. I prefer to use a lip liner always, but you don't necessarily have to have one with Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. Here's what the shade Supermodel looks like on my skin tone. Like I said before, it's like a very nice medium toned rose brown type of a shade. This one would definitely also be extremely beautiful for fall. Okay, I took it off and let's go ahead and try Super Fabulous next. Okay, that is beautiful. I love it. I really love this one, and I feel like it doesn't go with this eye look because I went all cool tone shades with this one, and this one has a tiny bit of warmth in it, but it is beautiful, and I definitely see myself wearing this lipstick a lot. You know what? I'm going to grab this shade right here, which is the warm shade from the palette, and I'm just going to add it to the outer part of the eye and a little bit underneath as well. And just like that, we now match the lipstick. I feel like this look says I am ready for the fall season. Let me tell you guys my final thoughts on everything that I tried today. Both of the lipstick shades that I showed you, I absolutely love. This one right here, I see myself wearing a ton for the fall time. This one is the color Super Fabulous, and Supermodel is very similar, just a little bit lighter, and it has a bit more rose in it, which is beautiful. As far as the face palette is concerned, I definitely love when she does this type of packaging for her face palettes. It feels very luxurious, very sturdy, extremely travel friendly. If you're going anywhere, this will be a very reliable thing to take with you, and you save yourself taking 3 to 4 separate other products because you can even use it as your blush like I did today. I definitely wish that she would have come out with at least one more shade in the palette to cater to dark and deep complexions. She went from releasing the Nudegasm palettes, which had 2 different shades. I still don't think the darker one catered to darker deep complexions, but she went from 2 to just 1. This one definitely I think will work on anybody from fair to tan skin tones, but still dark and deep are not included. So I definitely think it would have been really nice for her to come up with at least one darker shade in the quad. As far as how it works for me, as you can see, it definitely works. I feel very sculpted and glamorous. One thing to notice is this is definitely not like a bronzing palette, it's more like a sculpting palette, so don't expect it to look bronzy on you. These shades are very cool toned, so if you have a warmer complexion, I'm not sure how it would work on you. I have neutral undertones, so for me it works. And I do see myself getting quite a bit of use from it. I definitely like it better than my Nudegasm palette just because it has the 2 bronzer shades that I think work much better on me than the original bronzer shade in her Nudegasm palette. And I like that it has one highlight color and one color that I can use as a blush rather than the Nudegasm one, which had 3 different highlighters. I see myself reaching more for the Nudegasm palette than the Nudegasm palette. And then as far as the eyeshadows are concerned, it's not a new eyeshadow palette. I think I reviewed this one sometime last year when it came out, and I do like the palette. It has Charlotte Tilbury's beautiful and extremely blendable eyeshadow formula. I think Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows are the easiest to use. If you're a beginner, Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows blend themselves. You don't have to put any effort at all whatsoever to create beautiful looks with Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows. She makes them extremely user-friendly. So I do recommend it if you're into these types of tones. Me personally, I've had it in my collection for over a year now, and this is the second time I reached for it, the first time being when I filmed the original video I filmed with it. So I don't get a lot of use out of it, but that's because I have a massive eyeshadow collection and I'm always reaching for different palettes. Anyways, I believe that is everything for this video. I truly hope that you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Patty and I would love it if you were here to stay, so please don't leave without subscribing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye!